check. Which one of them? There's many addresses. Which one? This in Ramat Gan, I don't know. I'm in the Kirya, in the McDonald's of the Kirya. Yeah, but there's also heat in Ramat Gan. Not yet.
ברמת גן יש פריסה מוחלטת של בניינים, אני לא ברמת גן, אני בתל אביב, אני בשרון.
McDonald's is a Kirya. It's inside the Kirya. You have fire in the tower above the Kirya. Sharon is on the way here. Okay, so maybe when she comes, I will move her into the front. Right? She's far away. Okay. You have somebody in Sorry.
No bad intention.
But you see my live, right? You see the live, like about the
Oh, near the district. Like the police is outside, but I don't know if the violence is happening. So we may take it Okay.
All right, everybody, check into the stream. We're looking live in Tel Aviv here. We're looking live in Tel Aviv. Iran fired response last night. Israel attacked Iran, multiple sites within Tehran, and I posted about it. But when I said, chat, when I said if anything goes crazy, I didn't know another war. Okay, I didn't know that. So I was like, okay, we'll be back tomorrow. They'll be launching missiles at each other tomorrow. I'll be back. Here we are. Plus, we also have protest coverage tonight later on, so we'll be busy tonight. Everybody check in. How we doing? We're looking live already. Already live. They already had another wave come through. That air defense was going off, but, you know, I gotta sleep a little. Coming back. What up, Dubsy? Appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support again, guys. We're looking live in Tel Aviv right now. We're gonna have to pull up all Israeli sources. Honestly, you guys, tracking this war is gonna be a nightmare, so I'm just gonna show you what they're saying. I'll try to provide analysis when I can, but I'm not like I full sent into Russia, Ukraine in terms of like a Ukraine, and I went there and all that. We're not doing all that here, okay? I'm just gonna give you guys the feeds, give you guys as much facts as I can, and try to sift out misinformation. But this one's gonna be really tough to do for misinformation, so you just kind of got to go to the official sources. Obviously, official sources can be fact-checked. Here we go, 13 minutes ago. Israeli civilians are currently being targeted by the Iranian regime. The world cannot stay silent. All right. So that's happening, right? So you can also pull up some Iranian sources here in the background. When am I going to Iran? Yeah, good one. Good one. LOL. Fun. That's a good joke. All right. So we're gonna give you guys all the information. I'm gonna try to keep it as stress-free as possible. You got like a lot of people that are screaming World War III right now, guys. I don't know what's gonna happen to this, right? I can't predict the future, but I'll tell you this. Every year, we look at Israel and Iran exchanging rockets, or one of Iran's proxies. This is like a yearly tradition, okay? So when I'm telling you that people will post World War III and nuclear explosion stuff, and like they're really hyping it, okay? So I'm not gonna hype it unless there's a reason to. So I'm not gonna say, oh God, here we go. Oh God, World War III. Oh my God, it's happening. Because Israel and Iran exchange rockets frequently, yearly actually. So we're gonna see what happens, of course, but I'm not gonna be like freaking out, okay? A lot of people freaking out right now. There's nothing really to freak out about at this moment. Israel will have the full weight of the Western powers to help. All right, we've seen it. Israel will strike somewhere in Iran, and then Iran will respond, and the United States, along with the UK and Israel and some other Western country, will help Israel. And they will fly jets over Jordan and shoot down anything that Iran sends back. Okay? Or they'll try to. At least it looks like Iran was successful here with a strike into Tel Aviv here. They were able to hit a building here. Try to get some more information as it comes in. Try to get more information as time comes in. When my parents lived in Saudi Arabia, I heard the Iraqi oil tanker in the Persian Gulf during the Iraq War. Wow. Pretty close to it, huh? We have a sky look from AP. We also have a look here. Again, it looks like Iran was successful with at least one of their strikes into Tel Aviv. You don't believe a word? You can believe a live feed. That's why we usually try to find streams as much as possible on the stream, right? More so than like takes, because I mean, we can sit here and watch this, right? And this is happening for sure. Whereas you go to this app and it's like, ooh, I don't know, right? So try to give you guys, if you're watching my stream, as much live streams as possible, because I feel like still that's the, no matter, because even, for example, if it's a stream that, you know, the source is sus, or like they're not really the most honest, like in their opinion section, if they're streaming, they can't, even though they might be narrating over it, you know, we're looking at what's happening at least. So again, guys, we're looking at Tel Aviv. This is live right now. Okay, we're live right now. We're tapping in. Looks like Iran was successful in one strike against Israel in retaliation. We got IDF, Israeli Defense Forces. We'll try to turn this down just a little bit. It's not too loud, actually. Let me turn it down on my headset. Okay, all right. Israel Defense Forces. Israeli civilians are currently being targeted by the Iranian regime. World can't stay silent. So you got the Iranian attack is ongoing, which was happening just before I went live. You saw the air defense was going off here. Let's just kind of go back and I'll show you guys what that was all looking like here. Okay, this is just moments ago. You can see the air defense going off in Tel Aviv. That's the successful strike that we're looking at here. Let's go back a little bit here. Let's go back. There'll probably be another round and another round, so. And we also will be covering any protests tonight later too. So here's when the air defense had started going off. Try to get you guys caught up if you're just tuning in here. Again, this is a replay. We're still in the stream. We're still live. I'm going to show a replay here of what had happened leading up to what you're looking at right here in Tel Aviv. Check into the stream, you guys. Check into the stream if you could. Let me open the comments for a while. If it gets nuts, though, I'm going to switch it back. But for now, we're okay here. Guys, share the stream if you could. Live on all platforms. Make sure Facebook's up. Looks like oh, that's okay. That's from earlier. I'm not gonna play the audio because I don't want people to get confused. So I'm gonna turn the audio off, but you can hear the air defense sirens going off, right? Okay, that's not happening now though, so I'm gonna turn that off. Just a replay of what happened. Okay, there you can see the Iron Dome system, David's sling intercepting rockets coming in from Iran into Tel Aviv. Right? And it does, again, it looks like at least one was successful here, and it looks like it was that one that we saw. And we're looking at the aftermath right now. There's the strike. It's going to be raining all weekend here in Minnesota. Tomorrow's going to be a very rainy No Kings Day. This is a live look, so I got live feed, and we're also just kind of looking back at what happened. Again, this is a replay here. Still a stream, but I'm showing you guys what happened because you might have missed it. Or if you're watching other feeds. Hello, Linda. Hello, hello. Again, Israel launched the initial volley last night against Tehran. We're able to take out one of their leaders, Salami, in Iran. One of their nuke. Let me get some information on that quick. More details on the strikes last night. But this is the response. It's a lot of like up-to-date information coming in right now because of what we're looking at. Oh, we'll get you caught up on all this too, especially if you're just tapping in. And the strikes in Iran have been ongoing. I'm looking at just a few hours ago, 3 hours ago, you had Israel striking military base and an underground missile base in Kermanshah, western Iran. This was earlier. This was just a couple hours ago. So Israel struck them again. Hit a significant, looks like underground missile base. A few of them. So it's what western Iran looked like earlier. Okay. I'll get you guys caught up on if you've missed all this or you're not paying attention for the last 12 hours. A lot can happen in 12 hours. You guys haven't noticed. I'm going to keep that up really quick. Well, this is a live look at Tel Aviv too, guys. Chat, if you guys could let them know, mods, everyone, we're looking at Tel Aviv right now. So this isn't a video. This is happening as we speak. Okay, here's some details on what Israel struck yesterday that led up to what we're looking at right now as a response. Israeli strikes kill some of Iran's most powerful men, including military and nuclear leaders. So you got Hossein Salami, Ali Shamkhani, and Mohammed Bagheri. So those three were taken out in Iran yesterday. Iran's highest military officer, the head of its elite Revolutionary Guard Corps and its Air Force, and a former national security chief have all been killed in Israel's unprecedented Operation Rising Lion. That's what this is called. Or that's what the operation yesterday was called. Let's pull that up. Maybe get a different source then. They didn't. I thought they were going to do an article on it. Okay, Operation Rising Lion. Their deaths will send shockwaves through the nation's military establishment and could hamper the Islamic Republic's ability to respond to Israel's attacks. So you got Major General Salami, as head of the secretive Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC. Major General Salami was one of the most powerful men in Iran, overseeing its most potent military arm. Reporting directly to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Born in 1960, according to U.S. sanctions dockets, Salami had headed the secretive IRGC since 2019, so he's been in charge of it for a while. The position saw him helming one of the most powerful tools wielded by the Iranian state, which had been instrumental in crushing dissent at home and projecting Iran's power abroad. Analysts say the IRGC funds and support vast network of militias across the region. Okay, so he's leading the IRGC. You got Major General Mohammed Bagheri. Since 2016, Mohammed Bagheri had served as the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces, which the IISS estimated could be 500,000 active personnel. So he's in charge of the IISS, 500,000 troops. Okay, and then Ali Shamkhani, he was an aide to Supreme Leader Ayatollah. And he had diplomatic ties to Saudi Arabia, so he was more of a political, well, they're all political strikes, but that guy more so. But they already were replaced, so Major General Salami has been replaced by General Mohammed Pakpour, so you already got a new person in charge of the IRGC, and then the Chief of Staff has been replaced already. So Mohammed Bagheri has been replaced with Saeed Abdolrahim Musavi. That's who replaced him here. You can see here. So they already have some replacements of the strikes Israel conducted yesterday. And then you got, you don't have a new head of the Qatam al-Abiyan, Anbaya. I'm trying with some of these names, yo. We're doing my best. So there's no head of that yet. Okay. No pictures, at least. You got General Ali Shamdani, so I'm trying. I'm just, they're there. They're reading. I'm reading them. Okay, so that is who has been taken out in Iran thus far. And then you can see the response that Iran made today. We're looking at it right now. Let's go back to live from AP in case there's another wave. Right now we're not seeing another wave, but we just had one. And we're also looking at destruction of, it looks like, an apartment building in Tel Aviv. Yep, I got that too. That was earlier, a few hours ago. Let's actually catch up to that then, since you guys know about the nuclear facility strikes and the latest attack in Iran. Okay, let's go here and catch up. Within the last few hours of this, U.S. stocks are dropping. No new wars, right? No new wars, but I don't know. Later. Far-reaching Israeli intelligence effort underpinned Iran strikes. There you go. Israel's strikes targeted some of Iran's most important nuclear facilities. You can see a map here showing all their strikes today. Iran's nuclear industry is well established, with important centers spread over the country and some buried deep underground to protect the kind of aerial attack Israel has just launched. So that's a look at all the nuclear sites Israel was able to strike inside of Iran. And then you're looking at the direct response on the stream too here, live from Reuters. We'll keep that map up actually. Okay, we can start here then. Work our way up. Trump had made a statement today. I'll pull that up quick. You're like, what did Trump say? I got you. I got y'all. My bad, thumbnail shit. Get this up here. What did Trump say? We had posted it. I need to get graphics for the screen for you guys. Like, I used to have them when I covered Ukraine right away, but so this is JD Vance posted it. Oh, you kind of have like a yin and yang here between the two, okay? So you have Secretary Rubio, right? Marco Rubio, who said tonight Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear. Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel, okay? Less than 12 hours later. Donald Trump, I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest of words to just do it. But no, just do it. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, and that the United States makes its best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, by far, and that Israel has a lot of it. We know. With much more to come, and they know how to use it on civilians. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They're all dead now, and it will only get worse. There has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Jesus. Iran must make a deal before there's nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. No death, no more destruction, just do it before it is too late. What a contrast. The United States is not involved, Donald Trump. We are literally directly involved, and it will get worse. Marco Rubio. Hey, that wasn't us. Israel's doing Israel. Trump. Yup, we did it, and we'll give more. Fuck them. But so if you're like MAGA and you're anti-war or whatever now, or you think you are, I guess, or whatever, no new wars, right? This is a peace president. You don't know, like, even his own cabinet. It's little Marco. I get it, right? He was a rhino until 5 minutes ago, so I get it. You know, he could still be a little rhino-y, but you know, Trump did say that he's the peace president and no new wars, and the Middle East loves me and all my friends in Qatar, right? Crazy work. Crazy work for me. Crazy work for me. Like, honestly, if you're honestly MAGA at this point, like, you gotta be like, brother, listen, I've been carrying this shit on my back, and my back hurts. You've been putting the team on your back. You gotta stop and leave and get out of it, because they're gonna be cheering on an Iran war, and that you're gonna be cooked. If you honestly went to MAGA for like an anti-war thing, LOL, for sure, definitely, that's funny. But like, it's not gonna be funny here soon. Well, when you see American troops are going overseas to the Middle East, and you voted for Trump or you supported him because you thought he was like a peace president, that's cooked. So cooked. Wild too, he can have these statements, right? Trump can make these statements, but look at how he's dealing with Russia. This is like the ultimate hypocrisy, right? Like, we're celebrating Russia National Day yesterday, and when it's like, oh, both sides need to come together, and then he'll literally say, we're gonna arm Israel harder. It will be a slaughter. One time Trump will say, hey, I just want peace. People are dying. There's death. People are dying. And then in that tweet, or that truth post, he goes, there will be more slaughter, and we'll help. Do it before it's too late. Is that the art of the deal? I just want to know. So they got that happening. So Trump warned Iran, like, you better stop or whatever. As a far-reaching Israeli intelligence effort underpinned Iran's strikes. Doesn't look like it. Footage shared by Iranian news agency WANA showed crowds of student-led protests rallying in Tehran on Friday. So they had protests in Tehran. Iran fears news agency has reported at least 78 people have been killed and 329 injured in the Israeli attacks on Friday. The figures are unofficial, and it's affiliated with the Revolutionary Guard, so keep that in mind. In striking Iran, Netanyahu eyes his legacy. Oh boy. What up, Oliver? Netanyahu's legacy, guys. Did you think about that? Did you think about Netanyahu's legacy? For years, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu oversaw a clandestine conflict with Iran, one in which every move was calibrated to avoid an all-out war. Okay, this is probably an opinion piece. Now, Mr. Netanyahu has thrown caution in the wind with an astonishingly brazen and broad attack in Iran. Okay. Okay. That's more of a analysis piece, okay? U.S. stocks open lower after Israel strikes against Iran. Analysis is also just a fun name for opinion. U.S. stocks open lower after Israel strikes against Iran, which rattled investors and sent oil prices sharply higher. Good job, Trump. Yay, higher gas. So, like, now that gas prices are going to go up for sure and stocks are dropping, what's the cope now? Biden did it? But is this still Biden's weakness somehow? Or is this like, this is Ukraine's fault somehow or something? I don't know. They're going to think it. They'll come up with it. They'll get the narrative out soon. Internet traffic from Iran has dropped according to analysis by NetBlocks, a global internet monitoring group, as users report widespread and severe disruptions. Okay. Just trying to give the factual events here. We can look at analysis, but we don't need to read it too much. In a letter to the UN Security Council, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described the Israeli attack as a declaration of war. Oh, my bad. I gotta turn them off. You guys have a full send the streams. I'll turn them off on YouTube. My bad. I forgot to turn the ads off. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Araghchi said that Israel had now crossed every red line and warned that it would deeply regret reckless aggression and the grave strategic miscalculation of the strike it had made. Do I ever listen to myself? I'm literally reading the news, you clown. What are you talking about, bro? I haven't even smoked yet today. Trust me. United States Security Council will hold an emergency meeting on Israel strikes on Iran at 3 p.m. If you think there's a populism with Netanyahu, you are out of your mind. The majority of the world does not side with Netanyahu and the Likud, let alone Zionism. Are you out of your mind? That is an absolute minority across the board. Anyways, the United States Security Council will hold an emergency meeting on Israel strikes on Iran at 3 p.m. on Friday. The meeting was requested by Iran. The head of International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, is expected to brief the council on the extent of the damages to Iran's main nuclear facility in Natanz and the threat of more attacks on Iranian nuclear sites and on the safety of civilians and the environment. Okay, so you got, your Security Council's holding a briefing. Nothing will come of it, because the United Nations Security Council is trash. Ultra ass. Middle East is tense as Israel's attacks sink hopes for de-escalation. Oops. Trump said he was going to bring peace to the region. What happened? Didn't he say in 24 hours? Didn't he say he would do it in 24 hours, y'all? Or whatever, that was Ukraine, but he also said no, they had a peace deal or whatever before he even came in or whatever. He had Witkoff do some bullshit. Well, during the lame duck session when Biden was still president, but Trump had won, that during that time they had like Trump brought a peace deal and like there's gonna be peace, guys. Wow, Biden could never. How's that going? The Israeli military said it begun to deploy reserve forces from the various army units to all combat arenas throughout the country as part of its defensive and offensive operations following its attacks in Iran. Okay. Oh, is this an opinion? On the latest attack in Iran, Israel's allies voiced less support, more concern. Weird. Duh. That's like everyone except for like the most blood, the real war bloodhounds will make their faces known now. Okay, just remember that. People that supported Ukraine for their defense were never war-thirsty bloodhounds for war. Ever. Never, ever. Maybe a dust sliver, maybe. Not even, though. The actual bloodthirsty war pigs or whatever are going to be cheering for this. That's how you find out, okay? Or they'll be, like, super cheering it on. Like, oh, God, yeah, finally. Fuck. God, I just want to nuke Iran before I die. One more, please. God. God, I want World War III with Iran. Meanwhile, like, when it came to aiding Ukraine and all the bullshit narratives about nuclear war and World War III, Ukraine and everyone did the most to make sure that nuclear war was avoided the entire time. Meanwhile, here, it's like, does Iran have nukes? I don't know. Let's just... Maybe they do. Israel does. So that's why, and they're also backed by other Western powers that have nukes. So it's like, they're not really worried, actually, because they have nuclear power. But it was like the most safeguards. It was like with Ukraine, it was like bowling with the bumpers on. That's what it feels like. You know when you go bowling? Ukraine had the bumpers on, and they couldn't like do anything other than like stay in the exact lane you have to be in, no matter what, and they still were treated like shit. Israel, it doesn't have that. They can do what they want, it seems. At least from the conflicts I've been tracking. Ukraine had to be like the ultimate perfection in like everything they did. Like if they did like one little thing wrong, it would be like, wow, Ukraine, wow. And then you look at Israel and it's like they can do what they want. It's crazy. Israel's airstrikes caused severe damage to the nuclear fuel enrichment facility in the central Iranian city of Natanz. So this is some of the nuclear strikes Israel conducted into Iran on their nuclear sites. Natanz is Iran's primary enrichment facility and houses both the commercial fuel enrichment plant and the pilot fuel enrichment plant. Okay, so here's some details about... Hold on. We're still looking live in Tel Aviv, guys. We still have a live feed. This is what the response from Iran. I don't see any other airstrikes coming in yet, but we just had one about a half hour ago. Wave of strikes come in. I'm just catching us up on the news here, what's happening. Facility consists of 3 underground buildings, 2 of which are designed to hold 50,000 centrifuges, and 6 above-ground buildings. 2 of the above-ground buildings are 2,500-meter halls used for gas centrifuge assemblies. The nuclear material enrichment equipment located at the FEP and PFEP are under IAEA safeguards. Okay.
תוריד את המצלמה, תוריד את המצלמה, תוריד את המצלמה.
אני מוריד תוריד את היד שלך.
אני לא אוריד, תוריד את המצלמה.
תוריד את המצלמה. מי אתה?
אני האבטחה של הקריה, אתה לא יכול לצלם, תוריד את המצלמה בבקשה.
בסדר, אבל צילמתי רק את הבניין.
תוריד בבקשה את המצלמה. תוריד בבקשה את המצלמה.
Is this the IDF trying to hide the fact that Israel was hit? Bro, what about free speech in Israel? What the hell is this? What kind of free speech is this? Blocking the camera and shit? Oh, yeah, that's the IDF for sure. Iran did not succeed in any retaliation. It's coming now. I can see it already from the IDF. There were no successful strikes in Israel. This is Reuters too. This isn't like an independent media. This is Reuters, you guys. Damn. No, I'm just going off of what like super Israel fans say on the internet. We're the most Western free speech. We have it. Comes up and blocks the camera. We're the only Western style entity in the Middle East. No one else. No one likes democracy. Reuters is communist news. Yeah, if you're a fucking loser. If your brain doesn't operate at like at least 10%, you think Reuters is communist. That's actually of all the takes I've seen, that one has got to be top so far. Can we get the camera back up in the spot now? You're good. Get that guy out of here. Chance this goes nuclear? Low. This happens every year, guys. I feel like at least in the last 3 years we've covered Israel and Iran, or at least one of the Iranian proxies, if it's not Iran itself. Last year Israel was striking Iran, and Israel and Iran responded. And like I said, we used our own jets. The UK and the US jets were over Jordan shooting down Sahih drones. They had a big drone attack. It was the same thing. Oh. Same thing. Is this World War III? Is this it? Is this World War III? Like, bro, every year, chat. This is a yearly canon event. 2 senior Iranian government officials said General Ismail Ghani said the Quds forces commander in charge of the country's proxies in the Middle East had been killed. And once Reuters gets reset there, because the IDF told them to stop, probably. The U.S. is positioning warships to help protect Israel and American forces from Iranian strikes. You think this is bigger? Said everyone ever when it comes to this, all the time. Yeah, I know you guys, a lot of you guys started subscribing when I'm covering the protests here, but I've been covering Russia's invasion of Ukraine for 3 years now. So I've been tuned in a little bit more with the international happenings. And this is a common event. The Pentagon is positioning warships and other military assets in the Middle East to help protect Israel. So again, remember when Biden was president, they had the super carriers in the Mediterranean. People thought that was World War III too. You got the USS Thomas Hudner going. Yep, going to the Eastern Mediterranean. It's going back. No, another one, a new one. USS Thomas Hudner. What's that one look like? U.S. shifts military resources in Middle East. Well, it depends, honestly. Like, the only way that this will change from what we've seen traditionally is if American troops are directly involved. We already have the U.S. aiding Israel with weapons, but this the only way my analysis changes of like this is still the same back and forth is if U.S. troops go, and the ships in the Mediterranean don't count either because we've been doing that. That's already been a thing, and neither does the Air Force. Air Force doesn't count either. I'm talking about ground troops. If we see ground troops going to somewhere in the Middle East, then it'll be like, okay, this is bigger than what we've seen. If it's the Navy and the Air Force, that's been a thing. We've had that in the Mediterranean, and the jets have already been flying over Jordan and Iraq too. And we still have military bases all around there. The Israeli military spokesman Effie Defrin said in a briefing that Israel has struck the Iranian nuclear facility of Isfahan as part of a waves of attacks that hit 200 targets in Iran so far. Israel's next target is Fordo, nuclear site hidden in the mountain. Well, it's not hidden anymore. The Fordo uranium enrichment facility. Looks like somewhere James Bond goes and infiltrates. What the heck? After striking sites critical to Iran's nuclear weapons program early on Friday, Israel indicated it would next set its sights on the enrichment site known as Fordo, Iran's second largest and most fortified nuclear complex. The Fordo site, built deep underground to thwart such an attack, is where Iran stockpiled weapons-grade uranium. It could quickly produce a bomb. Okay. That's where it is, I guess. They know where it's at. It's not really hidden anymore. The Israeli military said it had identified missiles launched from Iran toward the territory of the state of Israel. Okay. That's what we were kind of catching up from. We're catching up to that right now. Sky looks pretty clear at this time. Reuters had to move because IDF didn't want them showing the retaliation. U.S. lawmakers are divided over the Iranian strikes. I still have a feed up, guys. We're still looking at what's happening. This is live in Tel Aviv, and then Reuters was live until camera guy came up into his face. So this is what we were looking at. So there was a successful strike back from Iran, and then well, how long ago was it now? That'd have been about 53 minutes ago. This is what we're looking at 53 minutes ago. I'm going to mute it so that way you don't hear I'll put it on like low. Catch us up to what we were seeing in the sky a little bit here. And then the strike that came in. That's what the sky over Tel Aviv did look like, again, just 50 minutes ago. Air defense was going off. This is a replay now. I'll get graphics up for the stream. I'll work on that this weekend so I can put up when it's a replay or if it's live. But I'll tell you for now. Right, this is a replay from 50 minutes ago. Showing you guys the rockets coming in and Israel's Iron Dome system and the David Sling. I don't know if the David Sling's used here. I just know they have it, but it's Iron Dome system. She had one wave. There's another one too. Might have been that one. I'm trying to figure out what the timestamp is that show the strike coming. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. So actually that one was about an hour and a half ago. So there was another wave that came in. About an hour and a half ago. Yeah, here you go. And this is a replay here of just an hour and a half. What up, Pat? And that's the strike that we're looking at, or we were looking at from Reuters. Okay. That's where we're at. Hello, everyone. Check in, check in. Hello, what up, Selena? Yep. There's like 2 waves so far, I think. Well, it'd be this evening right now in Tel Aviv. It's like 2:40 p.m. here, my time. Yep. I'll look up the... I gotta get the time back and everything. I gotta get the... I'll get all those graphics up this weekend. It's 10:39 p.m. right now in Tel Aviv. So it had to be about like 9 p.m. Around 9 p.m. Tel Aviv time. Or just before. Okay, let's go back to live now. Okay, so that was just a replay showing what we were looking at for a while. And also Reuters had a feed up showing the damage out there, which is what we're seeing here. The damage and recovery efforts. We'll keep that up actually here. See what the IDF says. They haven't posted an hour. Israeli civilians are currently being targeted by the Iranian regime, and he says the world cannot stay, or they say the world cannot stay silent. Do you have like a Jerusalem feed? Probably would be a little closer. Let's go back to live here. Go to Jerusalem feed. Oh. We'll be covering the protests tonight too, you guys. That's going to happen. Israel has the Epstein files. It's like a wall cam. Yeah, the sun's showing Jerusalem here. There's usually like some background noise while I'm looking all this stuff up. It can't just be in the dead silent. Being in the dead silence bugs me. Again, here's the sites that was struck in Iran today by Israel. Just looking up some stuff in the background here, guys. Well, we're watching here. Again, this is a live feed of Tel Aviv. I did have one. It looks like Iran had one successful strike back that made it through. Just waiting for further. Okay, here we got like clips showing the closer video of what we saw from an hour and a half ago. Closer footage of the impact of Iranian ballistic missiles in Tel Aviv. So yeah, this is just a clip from, looks like a news station rooftop. One more time here. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. You can join the Discord server if you guys know of any feeds too that are up in Tel Aviv or Tehran that are between this. I think I already have a section to share. Okay. Now, as you guys saw a couple times there, let's go. Let me see. Yeah, Israel war. I'll get rid of the Syria one now. Okay, thank you. Webby's sharing stuff in there already. Appreciate that. Yeah, you already were sharing stuff. Okay, I'm catching up now. Webby's in there sharing. Same thing. It's underneath the Ukraine war section. So if you've been joining my Discord, oh my bad. If you joined my Discord already from this week, obviously we have our ICE protest section, we got Ukraine section, and then we got Middle East and then Israel war here. You can post clips or streams of anything you guys are seeing happen in this one here. Just like we do with the protests or anything. Okay, here's some more. Look, it is reported that Iran has fired more than 150 missiles. Also, guys, try to find, like, I mean, it's great, but let's try to find people that aren't reposting news and, like, try to find first-hand sources. That's what I want to emphasize, okay? There's a lot of people that, you know, do what I do, for sure, or, like, where we, like, kind of find news together. And that is like a source of a source of a source at that point or whatever. So I shared these videos, but let's try to find first-hand sources for people that are that are actually on the ground and not reposters, if that makes sense. That was the strike in the building that we saw. Well, looks like Iran was directly striking where that came right in at the site that the Iron Dome system went from. It went right at it, and then the defense rocket came out. It's a little delayed. The same people calling Trump Hitler root against Israel. Buddy, MAGA is literally, there's a giant anti-Israel, like not for Netanyahu and Likud and Zionist actions, but because they like are actually Nazis and they just hate Jewish people for being Jewish. I'm not with that. I'm not with that at all. Like, fuck that. Fuck anti-Semitism. But like, I'm not with Netanyahu and his government though, or Zionism. I'm not with that either. But like, no, I'm not gonna be. We're not anti-Semitic though. But also criticizing Israel's actions is not anti-Semitic either. That's also cooked. Always been cooked. Like if you criticize the government or whatever, Netanyahu's made it so it's like, oh, that's anti-Semitism. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. Iranian missiles appear to be hitting targets. This was like an hour and a half ago, and at this point now, just catching up with some clips outside of the feed that we're watching. Fatux posted some clips, incredible footage of intercepts. Oh, he's watching the same. He's just a recorded in the feed we're watching. Yeah, we saw that on the AP feed. Oh, good. Funker's actually posting war footage and not their opinions. That's great. They should keep doing that. Very close footage of Tel Aviv, impact in Tel Aviv, as well as close footage of the air defense operating. That was the response. Oops, back in there. One more time here. That was a successful strike back into Tel Aviv. Oh boy. See what the vice president. I think the most likely, most dangerous scenario is Iran and Israel right now, really.
I think the most likely and the most dangerous scenario is Iran and Israel right now. So obviously the Israelis are on high alert. They just had this terrorist attack. They're dealing with Hamas. You know, what if in North Israel, a bunch of Iranian-backed militias start killing thousands of Israeli civilians?
What if?
Okay, so the Israelis invade, do the Iranians counterattack, and now you have Israel, Iran in a regional conflict.
So I've noticed too a lot of like conservatives do story time in their brain, right? They do like what if or big if true stuff in their head, and then they act on that instead of like what's actually happening. I've noticed that big time. Hey, what if this happens? And what if that happens? Then this will happen. And yeah, you could call it like forward planning, but at the end of the day, it's all just shit happening in your brain.
Probably have to get involved. The Saudi Arabians probably have to get involved, and then that is the sort of thing that could balloon into World War III.
Or like last night, Israel striking Tehran can start that. That can start that. Maybe not though if Iran doesn't have nukes, but no one knows. We don't know yet.
And then the final thing, man, is
they're like working on it. That's why Israel is striking their facilities to just double check and make sure, like, hey, even if you're working on them or you're trying to develop nukes, we're gonna destroy those here.
Is you know, China wants Taiwan, right? Everything that we have tells us the Chinese want Taiwan.
Oh boy, so yeah, China wants Taiwan, Russia wants Ukraine, but you're owned by the Russians though, so you can't say that one.
America, I think, has left Taiwan in a really crappy position because we've sent all of our weapons to Ukraine.
Oh God, they're so Russian, you guys. They are so owned by the Russians. It's not even funny. Taiwan's in a dog shit position because of their location on the earth. And aiding Taiwan will be 9 times harder than Ukraine because you have NATO right next to Ukraine within Poland and other countries to help weapons get into there. You don't have that with Taiwan. It would have to be literally the American Navy right there, which I don't know. Maybe Trump will. Against China, and then you'll have the U.S. Navy and Chinese Navy fighting, and that'll be fun. And then we'll really be talking about World War III. But yeah, we're not going to be able to help Taiwan because of their geographical location.
Taiwan, America, I think, has left Taiwan in a really crappy position because we've sent all of our weapons to Ukraine. The Taiwanese, I don't know that they could repel a Chinese invasion right now. And so, do the Chinese invade Taiwan? That leads to some sort of accelerating.
Do you know what's going to help that accelerate is the weakness in Ukraine and other countries seeing, oh, okay, well, all we need is these MAGA losers to take back over the government, and okay, we'll just do whatever we want now. Because they'll just allow Russia to do what they want in Ukraine, and then they'll actually work with Russia. Okay, cool. So we'll just take Taiwan then. Israel will be like, okay, cool. We'll just start striking people again because this MAGA government will let us do what we want, actually. Except for Ukraine. Ukraine can't do what they want because they work with Russia. And they always have. Yeah, additional footage of interceptions and impacts over Tel Aviv. As you got people cheering. We can do a poll. I'll be covering protests tonight, guys. This is our day. I stream every day at this time, so this is like perfect actually. If you guys are new to the stream or new in like the last week, we stream at this time, so it actually kind of works out. Another angle of interceptions and impacts over Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yo.
This is just some closer clips of what we've seen.
Yo. Wow.
Right. 8-second clip. We saw this one again, but here it is one more time. Just a 30-second clip of the closer Iranian ballistic missiles coming in. Looks like the sky is clear right now. They did have one successful strike here. I'll show you guys. The stream is still up, but IDF came and told them to stop filming. But here is the results of that. The stream on Reuters is still up, but they're not showing anything right now. But that is the result of that specific strike you saw in the clip here. Why don't you talk about the peace treaty Biden tore up that Ukraine and Russia was ready to sign? Because that doesn't exist, and you made that up in your head, or somebody lied to you that you watch for media when it comes to the war in Ukraine, and I don't know why you believe that. You want me? That's the other thing. I'm not gonna prove something that isn't true. Hey, what about this? Okay, it didn't happen. Yeah, it did. Charlie Kirk told me. Okay, that's you and Charlie Kirk's problem. Okay. This is the Israel side of the civilians. It was not factual. There is no peace treaty that Biden tore up. You're lying. Now you are lying. I gave you the benefit of the doubt that you were lied to, but now that you're gonna double down, now you are a liar. You get like one chance, honestly, to like get out of the lie that you believe, and like you hear me say, nope, that's a lie, and then if you double down, then I'm calling you a liar. It's no longer on the responsibility of the news source you got it from, because news sources lie every day. But if you like don't fact check it yourself, and then you're like, yep, that's true for sure, and then you like double down on a lie, you're a liar. You become the liar. Yeah, it wasn't back. Okay, give me the link to the deal. Give me the link to the peace deal. Give me the link. What is it? What was the name of the peace deal? What was the treaty name? What was broken up? What did Biden rip up? Peace treaty. That's insane. You got Iranian media is floating the suggestion of closing the Strait of Hormuz while the Houthis shut off the Bab al-Mandab Strait in response to the Israeli strike. I have a Discord server. I have a full Ukraine section. You can go in there and post away. I have a Ukraine chat, Ukraine relief, music, all that. It's all there. Go ahead, post in there. You can post your peace treaty link that Biden tore up information right there. And keep that up. Preston Stewart's providing updates. He's all up in the Telegram channels too. An image being shared on Iranian media presented an Israeli jet shot down appears to be a slightly altered image from 2015. It's Sergey. Check ChatGPT fact check. There is no record of President Joe Biden ever tearing apart or ending a formal peace treaty while in office. I know they make things up, but in fact, ChatGPT is gonna lie now. ChatGPT's woke. I see people argue with Grok on this too. Like they'll be like, Grok, you're just woke. Grok has woke settings turned on. He's not telling the truth or whatever now. IDF denies a report by Iran state media claiming that the country's forces downed 2 Israeli fighter jets and captured a pilot. Fake Iranian media, says Colonel Avachi Adri. Fake Iranian media. Damn. This news is being spread by Iranian media is completely baseless. Then you're going to have a lot of like information comes in and then each side saying fake news, fake news, fake news. This is fake. Well, there's a scene here from one of the impacts in Tel Aviv. Yep, we're looking at the Tel Aviv. You're right, JL. Yep, we're looking. We got the strikes. We had a feed up. Here's a video. Here's a feed. So there were successful strikes in retaliation in Tel Aviv. We're looking at it right now. "2022 talks and Bucha massacre stopped the..." What are you talking about? Who conducted the Bucha massacre? Who did that? 2022 talks? What 2022 talks? The only talks in 2022 were to try to get civilians out of Mariupol and other places in Ukraine. And then Russia would say, yeah, sure, yeah, for sure. And then they would just bomb the fuck out of them when they're trying to leave. I guarantee you, you do not know more about this than me. This is going to be fun. You should join the Discord. We can talk about it on stream sometime. And you can sound silly, and then you'll like your voice will shake because like you'll not know what you're talking about. So we got U.S. forces are participating in defeating the Iranian attack on Israel. Here you go. This came in an hour ago. This is Barack Ravid, though. CNN analyst Preston Stewart goes, "First report I've seen of U.S. involvement. In this case, appears to be entirely defensive and helping to intercept Iranian munitions headed to Israel." Mercado, I'm new here, buddy. Did you cover the... no. Russia's invasion of Ukraine was the first war that I've covered on the channel. And now it seems another... Well, conflict here. Back and forth. We've covered back and forth between Iran and Israel, but not like... beyond just the daily. Or whatever, what would happen. We did cover something in Azerbaijan last year. Like, I can't remember. Come on, let's go to the Ayatollah here. He's got a Twitter. "The Zionist regime will not escape safely from the heinous crime they've committed." Imam Khamenei's televised message for following the Zionist regime's attacks on various parts of Iran and the martyrdom of a group of commanders, scientists, and civilians. You can see his response. This was posted 25 minutes ago. "In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, I offer my greetings to the dear and noble people of the country. I extend my congratulations and condolences to the Iranian nation and the families of the martyrs of the martyrdom of our beloved commanders, scientists, and a number of civilians, of course, is a heavy loss for everyone. We hope, God willing, that the Almighty God will elevate their ranks and encompass their pure souls with His special grace. What I wish to say is our dear nation is this." This is Khamenei talking. He just did this 25 minutes ago. "That the Zionist regime has made a big mistake, a grave error. Committed by a reckless act. By God's grace, the consequences of this will bring that regime to ruin. The Iranian nation won't permit the blood of its valued martyrs to go unavenged," he says, "nor will it ignore the violation of its airspace. Our armed forces are ready, and the country's officials and all the people are behind the armed forces. Today, similar messages have been issued by all various political factions and numerous groups throughout the country. Everyone feels that we must give a strong response, he says, to the evil, despicable, terrorist, Zionist identity. We must give a strong response. God willing, we will respond with strength, and we will show them no mercy. Life will definitely become bitter for them, he says. They shouldn't imagine that they've attacked us and that everything is over now. No. They are the ones who have started this and have begun a war. So this is, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. We already saw one wave of response from Iran today. He posted this afterwards though. This was 28. He just reposted this 28 minutes ago, and the wave of attacks on Tel Aviv were like going on almost 2 hours ago now. The Zionist regime will not escape safely from the heinous crime they've committed. This is certainty that the Islamic Republic's armed forces will deal heavy blows to this evil enemy. The Iranian people are with us. They support the armed forces. And the Islamic Republic will triumph over the Zionist regime by the will of God. Let our dear nation know this. Be certain and assured that every effort will be made in this regard. May God's greetings, mercy, and blessings be upon you and our rockets. So an hour ago, let our dear Iranian nation know this. Be certain and assured that every effort will be made in this regard. The Iranian people are with us. They support the armed forces, and the Islamic Republic will triumph over the Zionist regime. This is certainty that the Islamic Republic's armed forces will deal heavy blows to the evil Zionist enemy. He's just posting here. Unless he posted his whole speech on Twitter like that. Okay, that's what it looks like. Right, so that's the latest from the Ayatollah. IDF post anything? We already got the smoke coming. White smoke indicating the new... God damn it. That's a crazy tweet. That's a crazy tweet right now. Here's your taxpayer dollars in the air. Reza Pavli made a statement earlier as well. Bibi spoke. Is it in English? Yeah, this is 4 hours ago.
שלום לכם אזרחי ישראל. אני רוצה לתת לכם עדכון יומי קצר וגם מענה
Damn, no captions either.
נשק, פצצות אטום על מה האיום הגדול. 100% שאנחנו נמות. הייצור של הטילים הבליסטיים. אני רוצה התקפה נגדנו. היא יכולה להיות התקפה והתקפות.
Is there a translation version? The Supreme Leader Ayatollah gave captions. Is there a translation? Damn it. Well, he did give a response, but is there an account that posted translations to read at least?
Rising line.
There you go. Okay. Well, this is from last night. Okay, we can hear about the Operation Rising Lion. Unless they give an account that has the translations for the newest statement.
A targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction.
We're covering the protests later.
Genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister,
When I'm just like, it sounds like the same propaganda for like weapons of mass destruction that we had in the U.S.
I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal.
Who's a better
Tonight,
view of
Israel
Jerusalem?
backs those words with action.
No, it's the same one.
We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives.
We got lots of protest coverage tonight,
Lives
yeah.
of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000s of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000.
Yeah, we got
tons of
protest
TNT
coverage tonight. It's coming up.
landing
It's
on
already
a
starting.
country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped.
We cover lots of things on the channel, y'all. Okay, protests obviously mainstream since 2020 for sure, but I give you guys as much information about everything. Okay, so make sure you subscribe and tune in. Okay.
Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself.
Wasn't it it was the other way around again, wasn't it? Wasn't it you struck and then Iran retaliated? And we all had okay, time for Iran to retaliate. And then all they had was drones. They were like, okay, I guess that was the retaliation.
Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors.
So, okay.
They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America.
Oh my. The cities of Europe are already being bombed by Russia, you clown. Oh god, and then he's got to appeal to, oh my god, dude, this is insane.
Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program. He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now. The hardest decision any leader has to make is to thwart a danger before it is fully materialized. Nearly a century ago, facing the Nazis, a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears to all the warning signs. That failure to act resulted in World War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million, including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war, the Jewish people and the Jewish state vowed never again. Well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history.
It's almost
When
done.
enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them, as the Bible teaches us.
Oh my God. Bro, it's so obvious what he's doing. Oh, the Bible? You read the Bible?
Someone comes
Guys, it's such a... the Christian Israel connection is such a grift in the right wing. It's so insane.
to kill you.
Bro, it's like... and again, I kind of drag... Like, I have family members that are like so... Like, they are just so concerned about Israel because they think it's... If something happens to Israel because they're religious, like, it'll be the end of the world. End of the world. I'm like, I came back from Ukraine and they were like, hey, did you see what happened in October 7th? I was like, I did. I just came back from the front lines of Ukraine. Yeah, but like, Hamas.
Rise and
Like,
act.
dang, you don't want to talk about Ukraine at all? You don't care, I guess? Israel, I guess. Just Israel.
First,
Okay.
this is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves. Over 3,000 years ago, Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has steeled their resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction.
Let's do a poll. Let's find out. Do you stand with Israel? Oh, make it easy.
And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll back a murderous tyranny. Generations from now, history will record that our generation stood its ground, acted in time, and secured our common future.
Yeah, we diverted
God
missiles for
bless
you.
Israel. May God bless the forces of civilization everywhere.
Yeah. We diverted weapons from Ukraine to go help Israel again. Here's a photo. That's Israel's weapons though. That's Israel's defense. Their Iron Dome. It doesn't have a translated version today. No translated version up yet. Iran military has a Twitter, I guess. Updates on the Islamic Republic of the Iran Armed Forces. And they're posting here. 29 minutes ago. This grave mistake will make the Zionist entity miserable and turn its life bitter. The Zionist entity committed a grave mistake and perpetuated a folly that bring dire consequences upon it by the grace of God. Always invoking God. That's why I'm not religious anymore. It's all these... both sides. Both sides. Well, they're gods. It's the problem. Chat around at Mercado Media, I'm God. Okay, don't forget that. I'm not. That's weird. Oh wow, dude. Oh jeez, dude. Not the holy. They're doing the big edits, big video edits. Holy cow! I did not know Iran had their own military account on X until now. Jesus. Doing TikTok edits. Holy. Maybe one of the sites that Israel struck today. That's a look at one of their underground nuclear facilities. We got protest coverage coming up in a little bit, guys. We're going to see if anything happens here in Tel Aviv. I'll be more on time tonight, though. We're locking in the night. We'll be doing news all night tonight between the protests or if there's another round of strikes. I moved the Israel War Channel up into the U.S. News and Politics section. So it's just all there because you're posting stuff everywhere on the Discord if you haven't joined it yet. This is a live look in Tel Aviv. I don't know, further coverage is expected, but this is the last we saw about an hour ago as a result of Iran responding. Put in the comments where you're tuned in from if you haven't. Put in the chat where you're tuned in from around the world. UN Council.
Undermining regional stability and exacerbating tensions. The fact that these attacks against Iran have happened in the middle of a negotiations process.
This is right now.
Finding a peaceful diplomatic solution to the Iranian nuclear issue makes it all the more morally repugnant and against international norms. These actions risk eroding the trust and sanctity of the negotiations process, so crucial for the peaceful settlement of these issues. Madam President, Pakistan reaffirms its support for the resolution of the Iranian nuclear issue through peaceful means, diplomatic engagement, and sustained dialogue. The JCPOA was an outcome of painstaking and arduous yet constructive negotiations. It charted a roadmap to comprehensively address the concerns of the parties involved by clearly defining their relevant obligations and responsibilities. The illegal use of force against Iran and the ensuing situation are likely to frustrate the ongoing diplomatic efforts and could destabilize a region that is already under very severe stress. The ongoing diplomatic context to reach a negotiated deal.
Thank you, Des, for becoming a member.
Other endeavors to promote regional peace and security must not be allowed to be appended. It is highly regrettable that these attacks have happened when the IAEA was continuing its verification activities in Iran. Such actions threaten the IAEA's technical work, which should be supported and not disrupted.
That's the nuclear agency.
Violated international law IAEA statute and several IAEA resolutions by attacking the IAEA safeguarded facilities. In addition to serious violation of international law, these attacks risk setting a dangerous negative precedent and pose a grave threat to safety of populations in the region and around the globe. Pakistan, as an immediate neighbor of Iran, is therefore seriously concerned. Security Council Resolution 487 strongly affirmed such attacks as a clear violation of the UN Charter, the norms of international conduct, and a serious threat to the entire IAEA safeguard regime. We call on all parties, Madam President, to fulfill their respective obligations and responsibilities and avoid escalation. Even in these testing times, diplomatic engagement and dialogue must be prioritized. Clearly, the international community is in favor of peace and stability.
Yeah, IAEA stands for International Atomic Energy
In a
Agency.
few days, next week, the international community, the UN membership, was to come together
This is live right now, y'all. This is live at the UN.
to chart the path for the Palestinian state as part of the two-state solution that would usher in the long-awaited, just, and durable peace in the Middle East. Israel's reckless and irresponsible behavior cannot be allowed to jeopardize the efforts for peace, endanger the stability of the entire region, and risk wider escalation, thereby threatening global peace and security. The Security Council bears primary responsibility to maintain international peace and security and to stop this aggression immediately. It must hold the aggressor accountable for its actions. This council must deny Israel the free hand and the impunity with which it continues to operate in defiance of international law and international opinion. It is also our collective responsibility to reject any notions by anyone, anywhere, that seek to destroy,
Hey, Chris, good to see you.
misuse, and abuse the right of self-defense in violation of international
Yeah,
law
I'll boost the volume.
and UN Charter. Finally, this council must collectively muster the courage to take positions and adopt decisions
Is that better?
that are in full conformity with the Charter of the United Nations. In accordance with its responsibility, the Council should encourage, support, and prioritize dialogue and diplomacy to advance peaceful
I read the chat all the time. What are you talking about?
conflicts.
I'm looking on my other screen. What's up?
That is the only viable path forward, as many around the table have also echoed in their comments.
Ramat Gan,
Thank
share it into my. I have a Discord server if you have videos.
Representative of Pakistan for his statement, and I now give the floor to the
I
representative.
have an Israel section. If there's something to do with what's happening in Israel or Iran, put it here. Drop a link.
Director General
Don't pull it up.
for their briefings. President, the Security Council meets today at a dangerous moment. We are deeply concerned by Israel's strikes on sites in Iran, as well as the Iranian military action we've already seen in response. There is a clear risk that this crisis escalates, with serious implications for peace and security across the region and beyond. This is in no one's interests. Colleagues, our first priority must be to prevent further escalation in the Middle East. We urge all parties to urgently step back, show restraint, and reduce tensions.
Reuters is back.
The UK did not participate in this action. And
This
let
is in
me
Ramat
say
Gan.
clearly and unequivocally that Russia's claim that British sovereign bases on the island of Cyprus were in any way involved is nonsense.
This is live right now.
It is deeply irresponsible at moments like this for Russia to be spreading disinformation. We firmly support any diplomatic efforts to return to stability. Today we have spoken to Israel at the highest levels and our Foreign Secretary has also spoken to Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi. We have urged both sides to show restraint and de-escalate tensions.
Got the UN audio with the live right here in Ramat Gan.
To ensure we are collectively doing our utmost to push for a peaceful outcome. The UK, in partnership with the E3, has always championed a diplomatic solution to address Iran's nuclear escalation, which has no credible civilian justification. We will not be deterred from this. As my Prime Minister said today, we have long held concerns about Iran's nuclear program, as documented by the IAEA. Israel also needs to protect its people and security. It is therefore in the interests of all actors to stop military confrontation and pursue a negotiated solution. President, this is time for a strong, united position from members of this Council. We must take urgent action to de-escalate and provide an opportunity for a return to diplomacy. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the United Kingdom for her statement, and I give the floor now to the representative of Slovenia.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me begin by thanking USG Di Carlo and Director General Grossi for their valuable contributions to today's discussion.
Welcome back. That's Slovenia. This is live in Ramat Gan in Israel. I'll try to map that where that is. It's like a neighborhood east of Tel Aviv. Right there in the outline, there's Ramat Gan. There's Tel Aviv, Ramat Gan here. Not sure the exact location. Vote in our poll, guys. Vote in our poll. Also like the video, share the stream. This is live in Israel. Iran retaliated.
I love Mama.
What up, Simon?
כן, הוא מקבל על זה כסף, עזוב אותו, כי לך תצעק הרצל פה. חבר'ה, תפעלו לאמבולנס, לעבור. לזוז. נראה לי אתה צריך לזוז. אני אזוז. סלמוס.
אני ממש עליך. הכי ממושמע שלי. מה נשמע?
Alright, put it up on Twitch.
אין לי תשובה על זה.
Alright, polls are activated across all the platforms now. You already have I already have one stream up in LA. There's already one up. It's AP. They're already there, ready. It's a Friday night now, so there will be That's why I took yesterday off, because I already know we're gonna probably be busy Friday night. Did who just wake up? Me? No, we've been streaming for an hour and a half. Been live for an hour and a half so far, y'all. Catching up to what's going on in between Israel and Iran. I was on my other channel last night. Probably be live through the night. After this, we'll be switching over to the protest coverage. Oh, United States speaking now.
on Israeli civilians and spread terror, instability around Iran. And Director General
Did the world cannot.
Let's hear the U.S.
I thank the representative of Slovenia for her briefing, and I give the floor now to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Undersecretary General Rosemary DiCarlo and Director General Rafael Grossi for your briefing. Yesterday, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran's regime has, since its founding, repeatedly called for the state of Israel's eradication.
This guy looks like Kirk Charlie.
Provoked direct and proxy attacks on Israeli civilians and spread terror, instability, and untold human suffering throughout the region. As we speak,
I need to grab water quick.
Iran is firing missiles at civilian areas across Israel, including in Tel Aviv. As President Trump has repeatedly said, this dangerous regime cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons. Israel advised us this action was necessary for its self-defense. Every sovereign nation has the right to defend itself, and Israel is no exception. The United States was informed of the strikes ahead of time, but was not militarily involved in these strikes. Our absolute foremost priority is the protection of U.S. citizens, personnel, and forces in the region. As Secretary Rubio said, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. Let me be crystal clear. No government, proxy, or independent actor should target American citizens, American bases, or other American...
What a different message between the U.S. and the UK.
The consequences for Iran would be dire. President Trump was elected with a sweeping mandate from the American people.
Oh my God.
To advance peace.
Yeah.
And to avoid
looks like it, you
mistakes
fucking clown.
Of past administrations that led to forever worse.
Wow.
We seek.
This is unironically one of those.
As President Trump said, the violence should come to an end, and Iran should make a deal so that there is, quote, no more death, no more destruction, close quote. The United States will continue to seek a diplomatic resolution that ensures Iran will never acquire a nuclear weapon or pose a threat to stability in the Middle East. Iran's leadership would be wise to negotiate at this time. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank the representative of the United States for his statement.
We're cooked.
To the representative of France.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Tout d'abord, je souhaiterais remercier Madame.
Okay, well, that was the U.S. response. Yeah, the UN's pointless, but I wanted to hear what they are gonna say though. They're not gonna do anything, but I wanted to hear what the words were and what we're doing. Like I said, guys, you're gonna find out who's the real war hounds here that are all about Israel striking countries, and then they'll say it's for self-defense. Israel strikes country, country responds, and then Israel plays victim. That's the process I'm seeing here. For the past, since I've been tracking international news. Leading up to October 7th, the IDF were like shooting journalists. That was before October 7th. We watched like a standoff once, and like the IDF, they had them trapped in like a alleyway. Can't remember what. I think that might have been 2021. He sounded like a 5th grade class presentation. Yeah, that's what all MAGA speeches are like. Okay, guys, this is in Tel Aviv. We're looking at, well, not Tel Aviv. It's, well, I don't know if this is a neighborhood of Tel Aviv or what this is specifically. I got my map up, but it's just to the east of Tel Aviv. I think it might just be a neighborhood. Or if it's its own city within there, then I'm just not sure how that works here. But you got Ramat Gan here. Read the Quran? Why would I read the Quran? I don't need religious words to teach me how to live my life in any way. I read the Bible though multiple times. I've done that. A lot of hypocrisy in that one. At least from like the words that are in there, and then humans that read that and live their life based on those teachings. They don't do it. You read The Hobbit, you're good. Yep, that's actually unironically a better story. The Hobbit. Or, you can go Moby Dick. Call of the Wild. Better stories. You're atheist? That's fine. Read Marx if you really want to let the devil in your heart. Guys, if you don't like, in the right-wing political, also religious sphere, atheists are like devil worshippers, and communism is the devil too, by the way. Not fascism though, not that, not the right extreme. That's good, that's what we want. But the other political extreme, that's the devil. Evil. Even though they both act the same and carry out the same levels of destruction. But we've had we've had more fascist regimes here, and we have fascism back in the United States right now. So it's like the people that, communism not good, and from what I've seen, at least how it's carried out. Right, we have like dictators that carry out a communism, and it's like basically fascism with whatever. It's the same thing. At least how it's been carried out by leaders throughout the world and history. But you'll have people that fearmonger communism the whole time, and then when fascism is happening, they have nothing to say about it, or they act as if it's not even a fascism. It's a grift, honestly. I'm gonna call out communism every single day, and it's around the corner, but when it comes to the fascism that we actually have, they say nothing. No consistency. Okay, guys, this is live in Tel Aviv. This is live. After Iran responded. I prefer neither of the extremes. Well, the United States is so far right, like middle ground politics will not save it. We're gonna need an actual like progressive Democrat, like somebody that will pull the pendulum away from the far right. Going centrist and shit will not fix the far right away from the country at all. They'll just co-opt it or like put people in the middle and then like pull us back right. So you need an actual pendulum swing back left to correct the shit we're on. Going progressive Democrat from what we're at now is not extreme. It will feel extreme to fascists. For the rest of us, it'll actually feel like progress in the right direction, away from it. And we're not going to do that by a centrist mid-Democrat. It's not going to happen. That's not. It is in your brain because you don't know how to decipher reality from fake. So. Like I'm seeing, like for example, I'm seeing like Republicans are leaving the Democratic Party and then just trying to stay Republican, and like that's not going to win for the Democrats either. You're going to have the same. You're going to have worse issues if you keep if Republicans come over to the Democratic Party but still try to act like Republicans. Not going to work. Not going to work out at all. Read up on extreme liberalism. That is insane. I don't need to read up on it, you clown. I need to read up on shit. I'm out here. Don't forget that. Chat, this is why I go places like IRL and don't just sit at home, because then these clowns that think that they know more than me about politics or like what's going on, the pulse in the United States, I can tell them, nope, you're wrong. So it's important to go places myself, first-hand account. Extreme liberalism is a oxymoron. Chat, what is extreme liberalism? You want the PLO to run America? I want whatever will absolutely trigger the fuck out of MAGA and ruin their mental health forever to run the country, honestly. That's what I truly want, actually, if you want to know what I truly want. I'm censoring myself for the stream. But I want what will absolutely make MAGA cry. Whatever gets us to that, I'm cool with that. And then I can go stream them cry, and then they can go and get flashbanged by the police, and I'll film it, and I'll be so happy. Is that extreme liberalism? Extreme liberalism. By design, liberalism is like keeping up, like, because we've gone so far right, liberals are like usually you're supposed to keep up the status quo of democracy in the US, which is mid. Like, it's mid. It's better than the right, but like it's still like center as fuck. It's mid by design. Because you watch right-wing media and they label everything extreme leftist, that's your problem. You should stop watching right-wing media. Anything other than Trump support is an extreme liberal leftist, and you don't even know how to classify the political spectrum. Like, to you, a liberal is like the same thing as like a Marxist, and that's your problem. Maybe you need to read more. You clearly don't know the political aisle. orange suit to match his face. That would be nice. You wonder why nobody takes me seriously? I don't know. I've gained 10,000 subscribers in the past week, 619 Dunner, and you're still here. I have the chat set to 20-minute subscriber or only, so you got to be really dedicated to be chatting at this point, and you're still here. Think about it. You hate the right, you hate liberals. What do you like? I don't hate liberals. What are you talking about? I'm being real. Is my honesty about it make me sound like I hate? Is that what it is? You can't handle direct statements, so you think that's hate? That's how weak we are. But you know what it was? It was a goddamn participation trophies and the actual snowflaking of the United States. It's so bad across everything. You can't say shit now without people like acting like victims. You little victim. America, a bunch of victims. Can't say what you want anymore. You're gonna get called this or that or this or that. Can't stand it. I go on Twitter and I respond to some cucked ass YouTuber. Oh, you responded to me because you want YouTube subscribers. Go touch grass, bro. I'm responding to you because your statement is cooked and you're saying some dumbass shit. You think I'm gonna get YouTube subscribers for beefing with you on X? You respond to people because you want more viewers or whatever, and it's like, you are wrong, and I'm saying you're wrong. I don't give a fuck what happens about viewers or subscribers. I'm just saying you're wrong because you're an idiot. We live in a doomed society. Do Xbox watch? I don't know. This is what I'm hit with every day on there. With when I was with the war, whenever I would criticize MAGA pro-Ukraine people, which they do exist, it was divisiveness. I was wrong for that, actually, not the people that were MAGA, because we live in victimhood mentality world, and everybody's a victim, and nobody can just be wrong or an idiot, and you can't just call them wrong or an idiot, but they're gonna act like victims.
Stay back from these sites so that way our police personnel and first responders can obviously...
Do I hear myself? Nope. I don't rewatch my streams, so I have 1,400 people listening for me.
Of the debris impact site, it was only hated the enemy. And with that, what I'm also saying is that those who do not understand why Israel attacked Iran in the early hours...
Am I gonna go to Texas or DC? I'm gonna stay in Minnesota. We have a big one planned tomorrow. My truck, I gotta buy a new truck battery. I got AAA came, or the roadside assistance came and got my battery started, and then I went to go again and it's just dead. So I gotta buy a new battery. So I'm not going anywhere for a while, to be honest. Am I streaming IRL tomorrow? Yep. Iran is responding here.
Permanent member of this council, the United States. The United States' complicity in this terrorist attack is beyond doubt. The officials of the United States have expressly and brazenly confessed the willful aid and assistance in the crimes and gross violation that Israeli regime committed as of last night, including the deliberate transfer of arms. We will not forget.
This isn't Israel. We're looking live, you guys. This is live.
As a result of the Israeli attacks with American weapons, these actions amount to declaration of war. They are the latest in a long and well-documented pattern of lawless, destabilizing, and aggressive behavior by the Israeli regime, a regime that acts with impunity because it is shielded by powerful allies. This must end. Madam President, the Security Council must act now, firmly and decisively. In 1981, this very council responded unanimously to the Israeli military attack on Iraqi Osirak nuclear reactor by adopting Resolution 487, which unequivocally condemned the aggression as a flagrant violation of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. The Council also called on this criminal regime to refrain from any such acts or threats in the future. Had the Council enforced that resolution and held Israel accountable at that time, this regime would not have been emboldened to continue this unlawful behavior with impunity. The current aggression is a direct consequence of decades of inaction and double standards. Madam President, the Islamic Republic of Iran affirms its inherent right to self-defense as enshrined in Article 51 of the UN Charter. Iran will respond decisively and proportionately to these acts of aggression at a time, in a place, and by means of its choosing. This is not a threat. This is the natural, legal, and necessary consequence of an unprovoked military attack. Iran's response will be firm, lawful, and essential to restore deterrence, defend our sovereignty, and uphold the principles of international law. No aggressor can be allowed to act with impunity. Madam President, we have requested this emergency meeting because we expect this council.
Yeah, I got a better poll. Watch this. This will be a better poll.
The Security Council must condemn in the strongest possible term
Watch this.
Israeli unlawful aggression.
I already know how this is going to go.
Immediate, concrete measures to hold the Israeli regime accountable and to prevent the further corrosion of international peace and security. Anything less would signal to collapse of the international system and invite chaos. Let me conclude with a simple and undeniable truth. Israel attacked Iran. Israel violated international law and the UN Charter, and Israel must be held accountable. The Security Council must act now and stop this act of aggression immediately. Silence is complicity in this crime. I thank you.
Thank the representative.
Okay, that was a statements from Iran at the Security Council. Don't get your hopes up about the UN Security Council. I'm just letting you know what they're saying. You're like, is that what's going to happen? They're going to keep doing that. Just more condemnations or resolutions and nothing actual actionable. All right, poll coming in on Twitch. Polls up on YouTube. You guys just tuning in, we're looking live at Ramat Gan, just to the east of Tel Aviv. This is a live feed of Iran's response to the Israeli strikes in Tehran last night. So we're just tuning in, checking out what's going on. Yeah, a few different live feeds in the UN happening, and we got Skyline here showing Tel Aviv. Alright, poll's up on Facebook now too. Should be a better poll. Thank you, Sarah, for the 200 stars earlier. Thank you so much. New poll is up. Oh, Israel speaking now. Hold on.
Cancerous tumor that must be eradicated. IRGC commanders have vowed to, quote, open the gates of hell on Israel. This is a picture from the main square in Tehran. The streets of Tehran display a countdown clock. At the time of the photo, you can see it in Arabic, it was at 8,411 days. It is tracking the regime's planned timeline for Israel's destruction, paid by the government, putting it in the main squares in Tehran. These threats have been made on a near daily basis.
Yeah, more like Iran is trolling you to get you to do this so then they can strike back.
Such threats.
Jesus Christ, dude.
For too long, the world convinced itself that these were just words, that genocidal slogans and threats to erase us could be ignored or rationalized. But Israel has never had that luxury. We know our enemies. We know their ideology. And when a regime builds ballistic missiles, enriches uranium to near weapons grade, and openly declares its intent to destroy us, we believe them. We take them at their word. And we take action before it is too late. Colleagues, Israel did not act recklessly. We waited. We waited while Iran enriched uranium to 60%, a level with no civilian justification, and a level that brings the regime within days of a nuclear breakout. We waited while the IAEA reported that Iran had obstructed inspectors, destroyed monitoring equipment, and accelerated its covert special development program. We waited while Iran developed trigger mechanisms, detonation systems, and plans for war.
Thank you, General Odson, for subscribing on Twitch.
We waited while its leadership actively recruited more nuclear scientists. We waited while Iran constructed a ballistic missile industry so large and sophisticated, and we can expose it now, that it was intended to challenge even the US and Russia in ballistic missile capabilities. They cannot deny it. We waited for diplomacy to work. We gave the international community time.
When?
We watched negotiations stretched on as Iran made forced concessions or refused the most fundamental conditions. All the while, Iran continued to build toward the unthinkable. Last night,
No need to read up shit, Sir Asser.
the wait ended.
I track this every day, don't forget that.
Our operation targeted three
Read up.
layers of the threat.
Spends 12 hours a day
We
streaming
eliminated the
news.
central figures of Iran's
Read up more.
nuclear command. This included Muhammad Hussein Bagheri, chief of the armed forces, Hussein Salami, commander of the IRGC terror organization.
Israel deserves to exist, but needs a better government. Palestine deserves to be free and granted sovereignty. Iran needs a better government.
Directed Iran's conventional military forces and terror forces.
Sounds like a whole lot of not our problem for the U.S., huh?
Network that has plagued our region for decades. Think how many meetings you had here about the proxies of Iran in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Gaza. Second, we struck Iran's military infrastructure, specifically the surface-to-surface missile array. Israeli Air Force fighter jets
Tabaf, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining.
intelligence completed a series of strikes against the Iranian regime's missile capabilities. Dozens of launchers, missile storage facilities, and additional military sites were destroyed. Late last year, Iran launched wave after wave of ballistic missiles at our cities. They deliberately targeted civilians. The destruction of these missile systems is a moral imperative. These are weapons with the capacity to reach thousands of kilometers. Leaving them in the hands of a radical regime, one that openly dreamed of wiping our nation off the map, was not an option. We will not hesitate.
Wow, almost 50 years ago, Dennis.
We will not allow a genocidal regime to endanger our people. Third, we struck the core of the nuclear program, the underground enrichment facilities at Natanz. This facility was operating at a military-grade capacity. Intelligence confirmed that within days, Iran could have produced enough material for multiple bombs. We targeted the heart of that effort. Madam President, this operation was carried out because the alternative was unthinkable. How long did the world expect us to wait? How long? Let's speak about it. Until they assembled the bomb? Until they mounted it on a Shahab missile? Until it
Yeah, the Old Testament with the most amount of bullshit in it. Like owning slaves.
100 missile that they sent an hour ago? How long should we wait? And if anyone in this chamber still believes Iran would never use such a weapon, I invite you to remember October 7. On that day, we saw what Iran's proxy Hamas was capable of. And then in Gaza, they did it with Kalashnikovs, with grenades. They butchered families, they burned children alive, they mutilated women. Imagine what the head of the snake would do with a nuclear warhead. To that end, we uncovered intelligence revealing a multi-front plan directed by Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas for a future assault on Israel. This one would be far more sophisticated than October 7. It envisioned mass missile launches, first from Iran, then from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, followed by coordinated infiltrations of our borders. The plan was not aspirational.
I already got streams up on Israel. See,
it was nearing execution.
There's nothing there yet.
This council has convened countless times in recent months. You have passed resolutions, called for restraint,
That's in LA.
demanded ceasefire. You met in emergency sessions when Hamas was under threat. But when Iran marched toward nuclear capability, you said nothing. When they crossed line after line, you drew none of your own. So we acted. We acted to ensure our people life. We acted so that Jewish children in Jerusalem will not wake up to the sound of air raid sirens triggered by a nuclear launch. We acted so that Iranian missiles will not carry radioactive payloads into civilian neighborhoods. We acted because history has taught us that silence is complicity and hesitation is fatal. We acted because 80 years ago, the Jewish people made a promise to ourselves, never again. That promise applies to a nuclear holocaust as well. This was an act of national preservation. It was one we undertook alone, not because we wanted to, but because we were left no other option. We now turn to this council, not for permission, but for recognition. Recognition that Israel did what the world should have done. Recognition that the Iranian regime violated every obligation they ever undertook. Recognition that Israel had the undeniable right and duty to defend its people from extermination. We urge the Council to condemn Iran's nuclear violations. We urge the Council to finally acknowledge the existential threat Iran poses to the world. We urge the Council to join us in our commitment to prevent their genocidal dreams from becoming a reality. But we also expect something even more basic: moral clarity. Stop equating aggressors with defenders. Stop treating a genocidal regime and a democracy under siege as two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe we should, Israel.
The Iranian regime was preparing for war. This war would have stretched across the Middle East, to Europe, to Asia, to the Americas. It would have been against the international order. We acted to prevent a threat that would endanger not only Israel, but the entire world. We will not sit quietly.
We won't be distracted yet.
People are targeted.
We got protests tomorrow all day and tonight.
Empty words will not stop Iran. Israel will. We did not wait for the bomb to fall, and we will never allow that day to come. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Israel for his statement, and I give the floor now to the representative of Iraq.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was Israel's comments. We're looking live in Tel Aviv right now, though, you guys. We do have a live look into Tel Aviv. Iran did respond. Current strikes in Tehran. Do we have a feed in Tehran? We're looking at Ramat Gan. A couple AP feeds up in Ramat Gan here. Where are you seeing Tehran? They were hitting nuclear sites hours ago. That was hours ago. We're in breaking news mode. Let me know, like, when you say, when I'm reading comments like they're attacking, it's like I'm thinking you're talking about like right now. Or like they did attack hours ago. We got Cucker Tarleson here. The real divide is between people who support Israel and the people who support Iran and the Palestinians. The real divide is between those who casually encourage violence and those who seek to prevent it. Between warmongers and peacemakers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anyone who's calling Donald Trump today to demand airstrikes and other direct U.S. military involvement in a war with Iran. On that list would be Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, Ike Perlmutter, and Miriam Adelson. At some point, they will all have to answer for this, but you should know their names now. Broken clock can be right twice a day. That's one of those situations there. I found there's been times where Laura Loomer said something correct, but it's like once. Because Tucker Carlson will then go to Russia and then be like, Russia, good. Look at their grocery store. It's so good. Look at, we love Russia. That's how you know they're like paid. If they're not like consistent. If they're not consistent, if they're across the board, then they're paid to be one way and not the other. Which Tucker Carlson definitely is. Israel has no choice. See, like this, Joe Walsh, this dude left the Republican Party. He's like in the Democratic Party now. Lots of luck. Yeah, that's when you say this is not going to work with the most of the Democratic Party base, actually. This is Republican, old Republican talk about this saber rattling for Israel. Iran's going to need it. Are you going to go to Israel, Joe? Are you going to go raise a Israeli flag and cheer them on? There's a reason why at these No Kings protests, guys, against Trump, there's not a single Israeli flag out there. You got all the flags. You got Palestinian, you got Ukrainian, Mexican flags now. You got all types of causes. You do not see Israeli flags. Not at all. It's like tomorrow at the No Kings events, look at the crowd at the flags. You'll see American flags too. You'll see those. You'll see American flags, upside down American flags, Palestinian flags, Ukrainian flags, Mexico flags. Old Democrats, I guess, yeah, like Chuck Schumer's, which they're basically just Chuck Schumer's a Republican that was able to like stay alive in the Democratic Party because the Republican Party went so far right. Same with Fetterman. Golly, boy. Holy cow. What the heck? I'm telling you, Democrats, liberals, if like the only way to get results is to go progressive in your side. If that's what you want to see. You will not get results voting for mid-ass Democrats. Centrist Democrats, even though that might sound like that's what you want. It's really not. That might sound nice. Wow, someone like for both sides and centrist, and that does nothing. Because I know you actually care about things that you want, or whatever, your family or your benefits, and that does not happen without progressives and pushing the limit of the status quo. Yeah, I voted for Harris too. At the end of the day, I'm voting for the most person who's going to win, and then you can so that's strategy though. That's strategy. There's time to get to that point though, and strategically choose someone that isn't a centrist. At the end of the day, there's more of a advocacy pathway and lobbying with a Democrat there, no matter what. But I'm telling you, if you're going to find a mid-ass Democrat again, it's not. You might even, like I say, it's J.D. Vance versus a centrist. J.D. Vance will win. Or like have a stupid higher chance of winning when he shouldn't. If you pick a populist progressive that's actually like on the left. I don't know, the Trump administration is so dog shit right now. It might just be like a vote for whoever is the best chance to win regardless. So I don't know, J.D. Vance might have a harder chance, but it'll be not even close if the Democrats pick a progressive. If it's mid-centrist, it's going to be a drama, at least. Walz would do good. Walz is progressive. He's not a Walz is. He seems like he's an old-timey Democrat, but like he's progressive, so that's why people like him. He looks like an old-timey Democrat, sounds like one, but then his policies and his actions are pretty progressive, actually. And he actually can, work MAGA and not cuck to him like Chuck Schumer does. Maplewood, Minnesota in the house. What up, Maplewood? You like Walz as Prez, AOC Vice? AOC or Walz? That's what I'm saying too. What up? Thank you so much. We're just tracking what's going on in Israel. We're going to be switching gears to the protests here soon. We got one feed up in LA. Not a whole lot of other feeds up yet. AP fell behind. Yeah. You got the Marine Corps. That's the Marines in LA now. That's not the guard, that's the Marines, you guys. I don't know exactly where they're at in LA, but it's like 2:17 p.m. Crowd gathered outside the building a little later from here yesterday. As soon as I switched over to my gaming channel, that's when it was like, Mercado, riot police are out, Israel bombed Iran. I'm like, oh God. And I was like frustrated in my gaming stream yesterday already, so I was like, flustered. I think I don't know, guys, could we just be, Bernie's pretty old at this point, right? Like 2016 the Democrats screwed him, but like I feel like he can pass at this point in his age, he should pass the torch, and I think he's doing it with like AOC. I think that's why they were on tour together. So, AP feed in Tel Aviv went down. Or AP feed in Los Angeles. Nope, it's still up in LA. Like, Bernie's great, don't get me wrong. He might be old here. You said Bernie's gonna live forever? Yeah, Israel hit Iran first. Last night. We're just looking at a live feed from Reuters right now. This is a response. You got AP and Reuters out there showing the response from Iran in the neighborhood of Ramat Gan in Israel. And that's what we're watching here. Bernie's only 32 at heart. Yeah. You're not wrong there, but LA feed up close now. Okay, we're starting to get them again. Oh yeah, guys, what's up? Are we ready to traverse the plane and go into protest coverage? So it's getting there. I knew this is how this day was gonna go. We're gonna likely have Israel stuff here and then switch to the protests. Probably do let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, let's switch. I'm gonna have to make a new. I'm gonna do a new stream for it, so it stays. Okay, probably gonna set it for till 5 o'clock, so I have time to grab something to eat. Maybe 3 p.m. We'll be monitoring streams of LA and around the country. There will be further coverage too of whatever happens between Iran and Israel. So if you came here for that, make sure you're subscribed. We're just kind of going back to what we've been covering for the rest of the week here. It's Saturday here. Can I start the protest? Sure. And tomorrow I'll be out there live in person. I'll be out there live in the ground, but then after that I'm coming home and we'll see what else is happening around the country and go through feeds at home. All right. Yep, no Kings tomorrow, and also my own stream in Minnesota. But after I get home, we'll be looking at every other state and what they're doing, especially Texas. We'll be monitoring Texas. Well, our state, Minnesota, Tim Walz is going to be a headline speaker at the No Kings protest. You have Abbott's calling in the National Guard there. All right, chat. I think I'm going to call it here for the Israel coverage for now, until the inevitable next response and the next volley of what's happening. So I got the protest stream up already, you guys. Protest stream is up. Time to tap in. I'm going to go to LA and around the nation. I'll be live in just a little over a half hour, okay? I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go grab food. And then we'll be back. Mercado, are you with what Israel did? No. I don't support Netanyahu or what they're wanting to do. I'm not with that. No. All right, we'll talk about that more though in the future, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. Half hour protest coverage. See you guys in a minute. Take care.